Hey there, Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies, and just a puttering session case study. Speaking with a woman who's in Europe, and she was really baffled by her niche. She'd been frustrated with this for a long time, struggled with it, talked to so many marketing coaches, followed my stuff around niche, and just felt completely baffled. And she'd worked with one marketing coach who said you should really focus on the highly sensitive person thing, because she was highly sensitive and she'd gone through her own journey around that. And so there's a video coming at some point where I talk about this whole highly sensitive person as a niche, because there's some troubles with it. But she tried it, and unsurprising to myself, based on that, she got basically no response, which is so discouraging. And so she called me. That's what we were talking about. But she said, I said, maybe I'm too greedy, but I'm into creativity and also nature. I love being out in nature. Could I weave those together? I'd love my business to have all three. But she couldn't figure out what was Island A. What was this burning issue that was going to bring people through the doors to pay a bunch of money? And so here's what came to me and what I shared with her in brief. One is, I said, look, you could, because sometimes we get it in our head, there's a business model that has to look like, oh, I've got to be a business coach, which means I do hour-long Zoom calls and help them on this journey from Island A to B. And it's got to be a package, and it's got to be this many sessions, and I'll sell it for this much money. I said, what you could do is you could actually just host a local meetup group. And that meetup group could be based on the intersection in like a Venn diagram of nature, creativity, and this, immense sensitivity that people have. I said you could create events like once a month or once a week where people get together and get to do things around nature and creativity, but designed in a highly sensitive way. So, my friend Day Schildkret has a website, morningaltars.com, where people go out and make art out of what they find in nature. Or you could go out and paint a sunset, or you could go for tea together. You could meditate. You could do a very gentle yin yoga class that won't be too overstimulating to highly sensitive people. You could design these experiences, and that's what they pay for. And she said, but there's no Island A. And this is interesting, the spells we put ourselves on and get put under in the marketing world, or we hear one piece and we don't understand the rest of the context, and so we get locked into an idea. And I said, but there is an Island A. The Island A is they don't want to go to the club. And this was what she told me. She said when she was younger, like all the things her friends want to do, let's go to the amusement park, let's go to a fair, let's go to a big loud festival, let's go to a restaurant where the music is so loud we can't talk and there's flashing lights and TVs everywhere and it's way too stimulating. And she didn't want to do any of that. So I was like, that's an Island A. That you would like to go out and have experiences, but not like that, not in a way that leaves you shattered after. And she said, but they wouldn't pay. Would they pay for that? And I said, well, would they pay for an experience, which is what a meetup group would be like that. I said, people pay for experiences all the fucking time. What do you think Disneyland is? You think that's a must? You think that's a have to do it? Yoga classes? Is that a must? Is this a no? I said when it's like $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, yeah, it's got to be a fairly burning issue just for people to spend the money, just to lay the money down. It's got to be a significant enough issue, of course, but not for something so gentle. And I said, we in Edmonton, we ran Green Drinks, which was a mixer for the sustainability scene. And we charged $10-15 per person, and people showed up and they paid. It's a miracle, So people pay for these low threshold, low barrier things all the time when it's not a must. I said, now if you want to do a retreat, like a 5-day thing, that's going to be more money. Maybe you want to focus on an issue, but it might just be that they would love that time. It's like, hey, how about this? 5 days out in nature. Every day we're going to do something creative, and you're going to, but it's going to be just so unstimulating. Or the stimulation is going to be so gentle in this thing. You could do that. Anyway, I could tell she was trying to get it. But a few times she's like, but there's no Island A. because we get so locked into this. I said, no, there is. Now, do you have one for one-on-one coach? That's what she realized. Oh, I guess I'm thinking only about one-on-one coaching. It's like, yeah, if it's a $10,000 coaching package, there needs to be a real serious burning issue, like my highly sensitive nature seems to be contributing to a divorce. And I need to deal with this. Okay, that's now a burning issue. But I said, you may not need it. This is all with the assumption that you do a meetup group into coaching, but it could be meetup group and then day-long experiences and then retreats. It could be that too. You might not do any one-on-one coaching ever. This might be all just group stuff. So there's some examples of how a business model can show up in these things, and how it's good to be creative with the business model. That it doesn't always have to be, oh, I do a free discovery session and that leads into one-on-one coaching, so I need to have a really specific problem I'm solving. Why do people go to yoga classes? Well, if you just want to learn yoga, we've got the internet. It's it's literally all there. But why do people go to a live yoga class? Well, because they want to connect with people. They want to meet people. Yeah. Some of it may be accountability, like, okay, if I actually go there, I'll do it. But there's a lot of, I'd like to just be around people, connect with people, make new friends who are like-minded. Why do people go to festivals? Same thing. Some people go to festivals just because, oh, there are these DJs playing and I just want to hear those DJs by themselves. But mostly it's social, isn't it? So that's a real need that humans have. You can create experiences. In fact, there's a book, I've not read it, but I read a summary years ago called The Experience Economy. People pay for experiences. This is, in fact, I think most of what we pay for. What is entertainment? That's not a must. That's not a have to. You're not going to die if you don't get it. Nothing's going to fall apart. But we need some sort of social engagement, and people do pay for this. So I say you could do that. And then, I bang on a lot, and I probably in my early days banged on too much about nobody gives a shit about your boat. Just focus on the journey. It's true. But here's what else is true. People do pay for boats. That's a real thing. Anyways, I'll leave it there. If you have any questions or thoughts, please put them in the comments below. Thanks for being here. Hit the red subscribe button and the bell icon. You'll be notified about more videos. And if you hit the like button, it helps more people see videos like this. And of course, you can always find me at marketingforhippies.com.